CQ, CQ, CQ. This is Kilo 5 Charlie Lima Mike, and you are listening to the Everything Ham Radio podcast. Hey everybody, and welcome to episode number 16 of the Everything Ham Radio podcast. My name is Curtis, Kilo 5 Charlie Lima Mike, and I want to thank you for listening. This episode, we are going to be talking about the National Parks on the Air as we continue our journey through different things you can do on HF. This week is going to be National Parks on the Air, and next week is going to be SOTA. So make sure that you stay tuned or come back and listen for next week as well, because I think both of these are going to be pretty exciting. I do have some really exciting news for this episode and next episode. You'll have to listen to both of them. I am going to be giving away a Pactina Mini, thanks to George over at Pactina. He has donated one to raffle off in my podcast, so stay tuned a little bit later in the episode. I'll tell you how to win that. You're actually going to have two chances to win. One of them will be given in, there's only one antenna itself, but you'll have two chances. You'll have one chance in this episode and one chance in the next episode, and I'll tell you how to enter into that raffle a little bit later. So, I do have some other exciting news. I guess exciting for me anyways. My wife has decided that she wants to get into the blogosphere, so she has started her very first blog. As many of you know, if you've listened to this podcast or checked out my blog, my wife and I are foster parents, and she's decided that she wanted to write a blog about how the whole foster system works here in Texas, how our journey through it is going, and different experiences and stuff that we have. So it's going to be not only on foster parenting, but it's also going to be talking about some of the experiences that we've had just with kids in general. So if you're a parent or are interested in the foster care system, check out my wife's blog. You can find it at morethansafe.com. It's morethansafe.com. Head on over there, check it out, and if you like it, please subscribe to her blog. Alright, now, done with the shameless plug there. So, I guess let's go ahead and move on to the topic at hand today. National Parks on the Air. What is it exactly? Well, the National Parks on the Air is it's maybe like a cooperation type thing between the National Park Service and the ARRL. There's no official, what's what we're looking for? No official agreement or MOU for it. But it's basically just a thing that the ARRL is doing in helping the National Park Service with its centennial year, basically. So, the goals of the National Park on the Air is, of course, to promote amateur radio. And we do that through, setting up at the parks and getting some exposure, giving away flyers, stuff like that. But also it's to help promote the National Park System through amateur radio. So, not only are we giving emphasis to amateur radio, but we're also giving emphasis to the national parks. And this is their centennial year, so it's been pretty cool. There's been quite a bit of activations for parks so far this year, and here it is just coming up, just the first part of May by the time this goes live. So we're almost halfway through it, and there's been quite a few activations. I know that there's been a few people that have several hundred different activations so far, if I'm not mistaken. I could be very well wrong, and actually just 100. I just looked at the leaderboard right now, and the number one ranking as of this recording, which is April 30th, belongs to Kilo Bravo 1, Hotel Quebec Sierra, and that person has 164 different activations in national parks. So that's amazing. But there's the top 3 are over 100. Kilo Delta 2 George Kilo Oscar has 151, so very close right behind him. Number 3 is just over 100. It's Whiskey Alpha 2 Foxtrot Ocean or Oscar November with 103. So the top 5 are all within, right at 100 or better. 97 for place number 4, 95 for place number 5. For activations on the Chaser board, number 1 is actually somebody that's right here close to me, Kilo 5 Romeo King. Kilo. Guys, the bad part about working with law enforcement and being an amateur radio operator is the phonetic alphabet. I go back and forth both when I'm doing my podcast here and trying to say them and reading back license plates and stuff like that at work. I go back and forth. I'll use some of the international alphabet and some of the law enforcement alphabet. It drives me crazy. But anyways, number 1 ranking, Kilo 5 Romeo Kilo. And this person has 392 points as a chaser. So there seems to be a lot of people that are really doing it, which is absolutely awesome. And here it is, only halfway through. So, if you haven't done it, go do it. It's pretty cool. I wish I could. I wish I had my HF where I could do it, but unfortunately, I don't have my HF radio hooked up or an antenna to use it with. If I could get this Pac-10 Mini that I'm giving away here, or that our friends at Pac-10 are giving away this episode and next episode, I might just set that up. But anyways, that's for y'all, not for me. So let's see. The national parks in the area is open up to any and all licensed radio operators, so it's not just for ARRL members, so that's cool. The only catch to it is that all of the logging and all the contact QSO verification part of it has to be done on Logbook of the World. So if you're not on Logbook of the World yet, then you need to do that before you do an activation or before you do a contact. Because if you don't, both parties of the QSO have to log it on Logbook of the World, or neither one of them get the points. So if you're just some random guy, and you're one Saturday afternoon, you fire up the radio to hear somebody calling, and they're on a national park, they'll log it as a contact, but if you don't log it in Logbook of the World, they're not going to get the points for it. So that's not very fair and not very nice. So register for Logbook of the World. I know it's a pain in the butt. I'm actually still trying to register on it 3 weeks later, partly due to my wife, I believe, throwing away the card, the PIN number card that you receive. So as far as what bands you can use to make contacts, I believe it's basically like Field Day. The website from the ARRL thing, the rules, says QSOs made on all amateur radio bands are permitted except for 60 meters. Crossband QSOs made through repeaters, digipeaters, Echolink, or IRLP. So basically any HF band except for 6 meters, and looks basically like VHF type stuff. So those are cool. So yeah, I mean, it looked like a whole lot of fun. I wish I could take my family on vacation to some national park and set up my ham station and away I go. But if I go on vacation with my kids to some national park, my wife ain't gonna let me do this kind of stuff. So for those of y'all that are activating them, cheers to you. I wish I could do that, but unfortunately I couldn't. Let's see. There's certificates you can get. with the national parks on the air. You can get an Activator Award, which is awarded to any amateur who makes a minimum of one accredited operation from a National Park System administrative unit. The total number of qualified activations will be printed directly on the certificate. So I guess if you activate a park, you get this award. Pretty cool. Chaser Award is the second one, and it's awarded to any amateur who confirms QSO with a minimum of one accredited operation from a National Park System administrative unit. The total number of NPS or National Park System units worked will be printed directly on the certificate. So I guess if you get one contact with an activator or one contact with a chaser, you're going to get a certificate, basically just for saying thanks for participating in the National Parks on the Air. The Honor Roll. There's a National Parks Honor Roll Award, and it's given to any amateur who confirms a QSO with 75% of the 59 national parks that have accredited operations in 2016. This does not mean that 75% of all 59 national parks. It is the responsibility of the chaser to stay informed of operations that could affect the National Park Honor Roll status throughout the year. I don't really understand that part of the rules. That's kind of crazy because it says 75% of the 59 parks, and then it says it does not mean 75% of all 59 parks. So, that's kind of weird. I'm not sure, guys. Somebody leave a comment in the show notes for this episode if you have done this and can explain that rule to me. Okay. The last certificate you can get is a 5-star activator. It's a special recognition on activator certificates for activators who engage in exceptional outreach during activations through the event. Activators must perform a minimum of 5 items in the 5-star activator list and provide documentations like photos, videos, electronic media, etc. of those activities to the ARRL HQ upon request. These include media publicity, a public information table, youth scouting involvement, radio e-message, digital modes, satellite contact, green power, battery power, social media, intrepid traveler, stamp collector, share the mic, moon mounts. So you can go with your Boy Scout group and use a PSK as your type of communications on a solar panel hooked up to a battery, and there's 4 of your 5 right there. And then if you promote it on social media like Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, there's your 5th one. There you go. You get a 5-star activator. And then on top of that, it's like 10. You can get like 10 of these very, very easily. The Intrepid Traveler, go to at least 5 parks. Stamp Collector, they actually have a stamp at each of the parks that they can stamp a book with it, and to prove you're there or whatever. Share the mic, have a non-ham or a new ham make a contact, similar to the Field Days GOTA station, the Get on the Air station. Moon mounts, it might be a little harder to do because you have to do the EME, the whole Earth, Moon, Earth type thing. Satellite communications, radio e-messages, media publicity, send a press release out to your local radio station. There you go. Public information table, you make little pamphlets and stuff about your club and about the national parks in the air. So easy to get the 5-star activation. I don't see why anybody that is doing activations for the national parks in the air should not have a 5-star activation. Alright, I think we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. I got a couple other announcements that I'm going to tell y'all how to enter this raffle for the Pac 10 Mini. So, hang on to your seats. We'll be right back. Alright, guys and gals, first thing I want to do is send a big shout out and a thank you to Cody Williamson, Kilo George, no, there it is again, Kilo Golf 5, Charlie Echo Whiskey, yeah, that one, for the donation. Thank you very much, I greatly appreciate it. Next off, I want to let everybody know, on top of this donation, I got an email from one of my subscribers that wished to remain anonymous, and this person suggested that I check out a service called Patreon. So Patreon is a service that allows you to make either a monthly contribution or a per episode contribution of certain levels, and I actually set up my Patreon account. You can check it out at everythinghamradio.com/Patreon, and that's Patreon. That's Papa Alpha Tango Romeo Echo Oscar November. Yeah, I think I got it right that time. Anyways, you can subscribe at $1, $5, $10, and $25. What I set up. And different levels have different reward type systems. So if you feel so inclined, please head on over to that address. Again, that's everythinghamradio.com/Patreon, and become a subscriber. Even if it's just $1 a month, that's like what, a pack of gum, a pack of the really, really cheap gum. $5 is a Starbucks coffee. So anyways, if you feel so inclined to help me out with this, I would greatly appreciate it. Basically, I'm not looking to get rich on this, and really there's no way that I'm going to get rich on this, but it's basically just to help kind of defer some of the costs that is ensuing. My website host, the podcast host, my email host, all that costs money, and the more that I'm doing, even though I'm loving every bit of it, the more that I'm doing it, it's getting harder and harder to pay for out of my own pocket, and it's getting more and more expensive. So, again, if you feel so inclined, please become a subscriber to that. And if you don't, hey, great. All my content's going to continue to be free. What I would really like is to remove the ads from my site. Get rid of those altogether, because that's just, I don't know, maybe just, to me it kind of seems to take away from the whole experience, and I might just do that anyways, because, but anyways, okay, on to the giveaway. The George over at Pactena has graciously offered a Pactena Mini to be given away to one of y'all, my faithful listeners. So, this is what you need to do. Send me an email at kilo5charlielima@everythinghamradio.com. In the subject line, I want you to put I should have been thinking about this already and knew exactly what I want y'all to get put on there. I want you to put I want the Pactena. Yeah. I want the Pactena. That's what I want you to put in the subject line. In the body of it, make sure that you put your name and your call sign so I know who you are and we can make contact with you if you are the winner. And what I'm going to do, you're going to have one entry in this episode and one entry in next episode. After next episode airs, actually on episode number 17, is when I will announce the winner. So between episodes 16 and 17, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get assign everybody that sent me an email with the correct subject line. I am going to number them out 1 to however many, and I'm going to get a random number generator and pick a random number, and then go from there. So again, if you want to enter into the Pactena giveaway. Send me an email, k5clm@everythinghamradio.com. In the subject line, put, I want a Pactina, with your name and your call sign in the body of the message. So I guess that's about it. Let's go ahead and get back to the topic of the day. Alrighty, and we're back. So let's continue our talk about the Npota, the National Parks in the Air. We've covered quite a bit so far. We've talked about the rules, and we've talked about the awards and stuff like that. Let's talk a little bit about the equipment that you're going to have, okay? Some people might just go up in their car, and there's some actual national parks that you can do this at. You can, go in your car, in your HF radio that's in your, already mounted in your car, and sit in the parking lot for a couple hours in your car and make contacts. Others will go a little bit farther and do like a backpack or a go kit type thing. We've talked about go kits a few episodes ago. I believe it was episode number 11. So if you want to go back real quick and listen to that after this one is over with, that would be awesome. You can find it at everythinghamradio.com/podcast/11. That's number 11. You might do something like that. You might do something like a backpack and run off of a battery. There's people that do that, especially on the soda, which we're going to be talking about next week. So there's many different things you can do, and this Pactina Mini that we're going to be giving away with this episode and the next episode is perfect for this type of thing. It's very small, very compact, and from what I understand from talking to George, one of the founders of Pactina, and some of the stuff that I've heard on my good friend Kale's website, that is now Ham Radio 360. It used to be Photime, but they rebranded it this last episode. The episode about the Pactina on there talks a great deal about it and how awesome it really is. I've seen a picture of it. I have not seen it in hand just yet. George is going to be mailing that to me shortly, and I will be mailing it out to the winner. But it's about the size of your hand, so it's really small. But, string it up in a tree or over a pole or something like that, and off you go. Just remember one of the things we like to do as ham radio operators, and is especially highlighted in the rules for the National Parks in the Air, is to leave the place better than it was when you got there. They say leave nothing but footprints. So, make sure you pick up your trash and stuff like that. So, there's many things that you can do, many ways that you can do it. One thing I didn't mention a little bit earlier, and I think I will now, you can actually activate more than one site at the same location. There are places that are like a national park within a national park. Like you can do I don't remember off the top of my head. I had it when I was recording this yesterday, the first part of this yesterday, but I don't have it anymore, unfortunately. But there's they do rivers as well as just the regular national parks like you would know, or trails. There's trails that run like 100 miles or something like that. They're all one big national park. And if you have one of these national trails that runs through a national park, you could actually get double activation points for activating both sites at the same time, the same setup. And so, there you go. Double points, double whammy for one setup. So I would love to be able to do this, and for those of y'all that actually get to do it, I'm really jealous. Maybe one day I will be able to, but not anytime in the near future, thanks to the 5 kids that I have. So, but I guess that about wraps it up. I'm sure there's probably a lot of questions that y'all have that I did not answer in this episode, and I apologize for that. There are plenty of links that are going to be found in the show notes, both for the national parks on the air, the PAC-10, as well as some further reading on different topics of this topic. So I guess we'll go ahead and wrap it up and move on to our Amateur Radio Club Spotlight. Alright, guys and gals, the Amateur Radio Club Spotlight for this episode is going to be on the Fort Wayne Radio Club in Fort Wayne, Indiana. You can find their website at www.fwrc.info. That's Foxtrot Whiskey Romeo Charlie.info. They also have a Facebook page. It's facebook.com/Fort Wayne Radio Club. So check those websites out and get a whole lot of information on there. There's a whole bunch of stuff on there, especially a lot of pictures. It seems like their photographer or their website team is just going above and beyond the Call of Duty when it comes to pictures and stuff. I wish I could do that with my club. They have meetings on the third Friday of the month at 7 p.m. at the Good Shepherds United Methodist Church at 4700 Vance Avenue there in Fort Wayne. So if you're in the area around the third Friday of the month, check out their website or check out their club meeting and tell them I sent you. They have several nets that they do. They have a 6-meter AM net that goes on Thursday evenings at 8 p.m. and a 6-meter single sideband net on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Both of these nets are on 50.58 megahertz. The Allen County Aries Digital Operations Team Training Net. Now that is a mouthful. That goes on Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. It's on 145.51 simplex. The net starts using BPSK31 and switches to BPSK250 after roll call to pass traffic, etc. The Allen County Aries Training Net is on Tuesdays at 9 p.m. on the 146.94 repeater. The Fort Wayne Area Student Net is on Wednesdays at 9 p.m. on 146.91. And that is a repeater as well. They have a FW224 net, which, as you can probably guess, is the 220 net. It meets on Mondays at 8 p.m. on the 224.78 repeater. They have the Fort Wayne Radio Club 6-meter net on Tuesdays at 8 p.m., again on 50.58 on the upper sideband. They have a Fort Wayne Radio Club YL net, that is the Young Lady net. That happens on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. on the 146.76 repeater. They have a Health and Swap net, a HELP with a P, not a TH, with a P with a P, HELP with a P, and Swap net on Wednesdays at 9 p.m. on 146.94 repeater. They have a IMO traffic net. This happens daily at 6:30 p.m. on 146.88 megahertz. That is the local net for the ARRL National Traffic System. They also have one that was actually kind of interesting to me. I don't know if they just using it as a pun intentionally, or if they actually just couldn't think of one. But they have a no name net. And it's literally no name. That happens on Sundays and Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m. and it's on 1.965 megahertz. Or you can go through the crossband link on the 146.91 repeater. They operate 5 repeaters. They have a 146.76 repeater. It's located in northern Fort Wayne. It has an optional 141.3 tone. It will transmit the tone always, but it has optional on the input. A 146.94 repeater, again an optional 141.3 tone. It's located in northeast Fort Wayne. And a 146.91 repeater, is also in northeast Fort Wayne. It has the optional 141.3 tone, and it also has an echo link built into it. The node is 519521. Again, that's 519521 for that echo link node. Their D-star repeater is on 442.99375. And that is a major splinter frequency. I hope that is actually correct. Both places that I found on their website had the exact same frequency, so hopefully that's correct. If not, my apologies. If you don't have good information in, you don't have good information out. There is no tone on this repeater, and is located in downtown Fort Wayne. They have a 444.875 repeater. It has a 141.3 tone. This tone is required. It is not optional. And it's located in northern Fort Wayne also. So the club is actually pretty active from what I can tell. They actually have a radio direction finding group within the club. And they have monthly fox hunts, which is something that I really have enjoyed in the past when I've done training on it, and I wish that we had something like this here. They actually have a, not only do they do the monthly fox hunts, but they have a team of people that train together, basically probably on these fox hunts, for looking and tracking down interference. This was started because they had some interference on a local repeater, and when they were trying to track it, they only had one person that had any kind of directional antenna. So it's a rather lengthy experience to track it down. They also participate in Field Day, and they do community service help with several different run, race, walk type things. They do a Mastodon Stomp. I guess is like a walkathon. They do a juvenile walk for diabetes, a heart walk, and the March of Dimes. So this club really appears to be really active. They have quite a few members. Their newsletter is quite good. Each one of them is like 9-10 pages. I looked back in their archives, and they do it every month. So kudos on that. Been there, done that, and was nowhere near with the quality that they have. So kudos to the current and past newsletter editors. So I guess that about wraps it up for the Amateur Radio Club Spotlight, and that pretty much wraps it up for this podcast episode. So one more time for the rest of y'all, or for those that are listening, if you want to be entered into the drawing for the Pactina, send me an email to Kilo 5 Charlie Lima Mike, that's K5CLM, at everythinghamradio.com. In the subject line, put I want the Pactina. Again, that's I want the Pactina. That's PACKTENNA. Put that in the subject line. In the body of it, put your name and your call sign on there, and I will be doing a drawing on I believe it's the 15th. 13th of the month. I'll be doing the drawing for it, selecting the person that's going to win, and I'll be in contact with you then and announce it on the following podcast, which will be on the 17th. So I guess that about wraps that up. Yeah. So again, thanks for listening. You can find the show notes for this episode at everythinghamradio.com/podcast/16. Yeah, 16/16. Hey everybody, once again I'd like to say thank you for listening to this episode of the Everything Ham Radio podcast. If you like what you heard here, head on over to our website. There's lots of information there that I'm sure you're going to love. You can find it at everythinghamradio.com. While you're there, subscribe to get emails on when I publish a new post or a new podcast. You can click on the subscribe button at the top of the page, or go there directly at everythinghamradio.com/subscribe. Also, like me on Facebook at facebook.com/everythinghamradio, and follow me on Twitter at K5CLM. Also, I would greatly appreciate it if you would subscribe to this podcast, like it, share it with your friends, help me spread the word. So until next time, 73.